What up, folks? It's your boy Dash back in the building again. Scruffy, might I add. Back in the building, though, with my word of the day. And today's another important one, as are the rest of them. But this one, accountability. Y'all, y'all scared of that accountability. Y'all scared of accountability. But accountability, is necessary. Gotta happen because three reasons why it gotta happen for your own growth. Now, my number 2 point is gonna coincide with growth, but I'm gonna separate. I'm gonna show you why they're separate. Now, growth is when I say growth, I mean in any facet. Whether employment, whether relationships, whether academics, whatever the case may be. Accountability is necessary, and this is why. So if you're working somewhere and it's the first time that you've worked in this type of industry, whether it be retail, whether it be management, whatever the case may be, you're never going to get everything right. You're never going to get everything right. But guess what? In order for you to be able to get everything right moving forward, as you go wrong, as you get things wrong, you have to acknowledge and recognize that you did it wrong, so you can put effort into doing it better. That is what we call accountability. You recognize that you did something wrong. That's accountability in itself, right there. You're not going to advance in any workplace if you can't be accountable. You're not going to advance in any relationship if you can't be accountable. You're not going to advance as a parent if you can't be accountable. You're not going to advance anywhere if you can't be accountable. God's blessings are God's blessings, and sometimes he gives you blessings just because he gives you blessings. But those accountability moments, they got to happen. They got to happen. Especially since, people love holding people accountable. But that being accountable, woo, that's a tough one. But now the number 2 point, it coincides with growth, but it's a deeper meaning. Freedom. Accountability is necessary to your freedom, and this is why. When you are with somebody or you're dealing with somebody, whether it be a friend or whoever the case may be, and y'all are toxic together, you recognize their toxic traits. You even recognize your own. They recognize yours as well. But you call that person out on that. You call that person out on that trait. And forget your own. You forget your own. Now, the freedom part is because that thing, if you go so long without that accountability, what's going to happen is that trait, that personality trait, that is going to hold you prison. It's going to make you a prisoner of it, to the point that anytime that it's time to acknowledge that, or anytime anyone not speaks of that trait, whether it be lying, whether it be a bad attitude, whether it be just being a mean person in general, whether it be not standing up for yourself, whether it be being scared of whatever the case may be. Whenever anyone says anything or calls you out about it, which you're going to lash out, because that accountability that you failed to take is holding you prisoner. That character trait is holding you prisoner. So now when it's people that care, people that's helping you, people that want you to be better, when they call that out, you're going to lash out and wild out on them. And again, now that you're a prisoner to that trait, now you start getting rid of everybody around you that wants to help you be better. And what's going to happen is you're going to be left with that character trait. You're going to be left with that fear. You're going to be left with that anger. You're going to be left with that depression. You're going to be left with that sadness. You're going to be left with that haterism. You're going to be left with whatever the trait is, you're going to be left with it. And you're going to be by yourself, and you're going to be just sitting in it. Now, until you allow God to, help you with it, then that's what it's going to be. And you're going to be prisoner to it. It won't be, you're not going to be able to leave it alone. It's going to stay there. Trust me. I've seen it. I've done it. I've been through it. It's going to kill you. It's going to kill you. I don't mean that in a literal sense, but mentally it's going to kill you. It's going to kill you, and it's going to make you feel like you don't deserve nothing. It's going to make you feel like, you don't need to be here on this earth no more. Like literally, it's something I've seen. I've seen it so much. I've seen it so much because people won't be accountable for those traits, and they become prisoner to it. Man, listen. Another thing though that accountability is necessary for is forgiveness. This was one of my words on another day. Why is necessary forgiveness is if you can't be accountable for your own actions, what's going to happen is because you're trying so hard not to be accountable, you're going to intensify how you hold other people accountable. See, because in order to be able to truly forgive somebody else, you got to forgive yourself. And in order to forgive yourself, you got to be accountable. You have to be accountable. So whatever it is, in fact, it's scenarios, and I can speak for this personally, and I can speak for people that I've seen that trait that they were carrying, that they would not be accountable for, until they owned it, acknowledged it, and spoke it out of their mouth, they could not shake it. They couldn't get rid of it. I went through that myself. I said this in the previous video, I was saying, no, I'm good. I got it beat. This is what I'm saying to myself. I'm not saying it to nobody else. First of all, the fact that I'm saying it to myself says enough. I got to say it to me. I'm good. I got it. Because I can't tell nobody else that because it's a lie. And I know it's a lie. But I'm telling myself that because, I don't want to have to be accountable. And that's why I was doing it. But as soon as I opened my mouth and said, I have this problem, it left. I couldn't tell you this without it happening to me. As soon as I spoke it out of my mouth and said that this is something that I have a problem with and this is something that I gotta fix, then it left. I mean, like, this don't happen instantly very often, but I'm telling you, it left instantly. Like instantly. I can't make this up. So people, I'm telling you, you gotta hold yourself accountable or nobody else is gonna be able to. So you're gonna build a wall around yourself. You're gonna build a wall around yourself, and ain't nobody gonna be able to talk to you. Y'all love holding other people accountable. I see it on Facebook all day. Oh yeah, don't talk if this ain't that. If it ain't this, I don't want it. If it ain't this, I don't want it. Well, you know what? If it ain't this, they don't want you. If it ain't that, they don't want you. Look, they ain't the only people that got stuff with them. You too. You just ain't big enough to speak it or own it. You want to go through the world acting like you're not problematic, or you want to go through the world acting like it ain't you, like it's never been you. Look, if it ain't never been you, guess what? 9 times out of 10, it's always been you. If it ain't never you, 9 times out of 10, it's always been you. It's always been you. Failed relationships, it's always been you. Failed friendships, it's always been you. Your kids act crazy, it's always been you. And that's a fact, because you can't be accountable for being a bad parent sometimes. You can't be accountable for, being angry all the time so you can't accept love. You can't be accountable because you stabbed somebody in the back before. Now you think the whole world want to stab you in the back. You can't be accountable for that. So now you want to shut everybody else out because you can't hold yourself accountable. You don't want to take no responsibility. You don't want nobody to be able to tell you nothing. Listen, accountability is necessary to life. And you ain't going to be able to move forward nowhere without accountability. And that's a fact. I'm going to leave it at that. Dash out.